When it comes to missing children, it turns out that social media audiences tend to play favorites based on race. USA Today looked at social media posts on the Facebook page of the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. And what they found is that over a 3-year period, people tend to be more engaged when the missing children are white, especially white girls. More interesting is that the site actually posted more about missing black children, but the engagement there, it just wasn't as high as when the missing child was white. In fact, a single post about a missing white girl was viewed on average of 63,000 times for a Caucasian child, compared to 38,000 views for posts about black girls who are missing. Anita's here now with one of those stories.
You know, and you hear that, and it's so frustrating, especially for black families that are looking for their loved ones. And it just goes to say, like, why is that? Why do people feel like this is more important than somebody else? And so frustrating, you know, Sylvia, when you talk to the detectives in Chicago, you can just hear the frustration in their voice. I mean, they face challenges trying to solve the current crime scenes, and there are many, and then let alone trying to find the killer or killers in these dozens of cold cases that are decades old. Take a look at this map. These are areas of our city where all of these unsolved cases remain. Now, Gerald Hamilton worked with some of these crime scenes on the city's south side, and he remembers many cases of strangled black women who were found dead inside abandoned buildings or vacant lots. Those victims still haunt him even today.
If I was doing something, this would be one of the perfect places to do it.
It takes a special kind of person to be a Chicago police detective. But for more than a decade, that is what Gerald Hamilton did while working for CPD. The 25-year veteran is retired now, but his quest to find out who is behind the mysterious murders of dozens of black women has never ended.
It's a very small subset of all the murders that we have in Chicago.
Since 1995, at least 51 women have been strangled to death. This is one of those crime scenes posted on social media by Chicago police. All of the unsolved cases involve women who were strangled to death, and most of them are African American. Most of them were found in abandoned buildings or vacant lots like this one, where the body of 21-year-old Teresa Bunn was found. Hamilton says she was strangled, stripped naked, and stuffed underneath a pile of garbage that had been set on fire. Even more tragic, Bunn was 8 months pregnant.
How could 51 women or, you know, a number of people come up missing or dead and this or that? And how come everybody doesn't know about that? I mean, it's like, that should be like, well, everybody knows about that, because as we've often said, I mean, some little girl gets, you know, mislaid on a hiking trail in Colorado or somewhere, and then it's national news and everybody's got 100 theories all the way to Alaska about what happened to it, and they follow that story and we don't get highlighted.
Whoever is behind these attacks, Hamilton says, is familiar with the areas and able to escape unnoticed. The victims range in age, too. Some were teenagers, others middle-aged. Hamilton says killers know how this encounter is going to end when they lure the victims to their death.
It's one thing like, hey, you know, I've got an urge and I'll just run up and strangle somebody, kill somebody, and run away. That's not this. This is, you know, a person that's, you know, stalking these people. And some of the people willingly go in there. Obviously, they don't know they're going to be strangled and killed and stuff. You know, they may go in there under the guidelines of the person saying, hey, we're going to go up in here and party together or something. And that happens. His mindset is, you're going to be the 12th person that, you know, that I'm going to kill. I'm leaving out of this building, but you're not. He knows that going in. She doesn't.
And strangulation murders stand out among the other crimes because these crimes are very personal. And Hamilton suspects it gives the killer or killers a sadistic form of control by slowly choking the life out of the victim.
The power that they've got, they've become God in some sixth sense.
In a city like Chicago, where detectives are working nonstop, going from crime scene to crime scene, how do detectives now follow a predator's trail when it constantly goes cold over 27 years? Hamilton says in order to catch a criminal, you need to think like one.
No, you got to start thinking about You know, where do I see the bear crap? You know, where does a bear need to sleep? You know, they have to sleep eventually.
Gosh, this leaves you with such an unsettled feeling. So I can only imagine how the families feel. What are police saying about this, Anita?
Well, you know, it's interesting that you asked that because we did reach out to the police department and they told us that these cases remain open investigations, but at this point they have no reason to believe that they're connected. Now, that is the official word, but at least 3 homicide detectives that I have spoken to off the record, they disagree. They say that some of these cases are connected, but whether it's one person or several people doing the same thing to these victims, they don't know. But as Gerald Hamilton told us, you guys, is that these strangulation murder cases, they make up such a very small percentage. He estimates about 1% of all of the open cases. And he says if the department would just dedicate a team to solving some of these crimes, that we could possibly have some solution and closure for these families and justice, possibly.
And that's, of course, what the families want more than anything is closure and justice. We were talking in the commercial break about some of the reaction that you're starting to get from these stories. You want to talk about that?
We did the story at 6 o'clock this morning as well, and immediately I got a message from an African-American woman who said, thank you so much for doing this, because she said, I actually forgot about these cases, but the fact that you're staying on top of it really just highlights the need that this needs to be solved.
Right,
you know?
right.
Bring your attention to it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Anita.
All right, appreciate it.